want your children to work with you, let them go and work somewhere else first. Let them learn the value of work. Let them understand how institutions work. Let them understand the value of the money that they are paid. Let them not come to an organization and be entitled. And one of the things I learned from my Italian partners, if your children are going to work in your business, you don't bring them at the top. You start when they are young, and they will come as factory hands. I have these family associates of mine. The business is 100 and something years old. Their children start coming from when they're 12. When they're on holidays, they come to the factory and work and help in the factory, stage by stage. So when you get to university and you finish, they ask you, do you want to join the family business or not? If you join the family business, you only go to the place where your talent matches. It's not automatic for you. We need to be intentional about wanting our children to be part of our business. But let me put a caveat, and this is my personal belief. Look, just because we've built a business does not mean that our children should be interested in it. They have a right to live their own life. Your business is your own dream. They love you, they love what you do, but that's not what they love for themselves. And they should have a right to express themselves. So the best thing to do, build an institution that can stand no matter who is in it. And then when it's necessary, find the right people within it, build them up, hire them, bring them in, no emotions. If you want a business to survive, your son that is not qualified should not sit in an office that is not qualified for.
You see the caveat this woman had put. The person should not sit in an office that is not qualified for. A lot of mistakes people make in Africa, let's say the world over, especially in Africa, is when some people think that because their child had gone to study to master's degree level, when the child comes, the child starts immediately from the top. And when you do that, you make that child to repeat a class. It's usually good to start the child from a lower grade for them to grow through the ranks, to understand how the business is working. Even if you have to keep that child for every stage 3 months, every stage 3 months, every stage 3 months, or even 6 months, to learn from whosoever is occupying that particular position. You don't just bring a child because the child went to Harvard Business School and you feel, oh, the child knows so much about business. There's difference between knowing business and being able to put it into practice. There is the experience side of business. There is the on-hands learning kind of business, and there is the books kind of business. Even in the book kind of business, there is the practical aspect of business. So if you do not understand this, and that is why you see a lot of people think that you must have so much money to start a business. You don't need so much money to start a business. There are businesses you can start small, and before you know it, you have gotten a lot of money, because those businesses are businesses that people do not even look at for. Let's say, for example, some people will start a company and they will now say, okay, this company they are starting, they'll rather even bring their child and take them to maybe a big place like NNPC or Chevron. They'll take them at the managerial section because maybe they came in with a master's degree or a PhD. When somebody starts a job at that stage and there is no orientation to be able to guide them onto what the organization is about, you end up missing it. Now, this woman is a preacher. She is into oil and gas. She is a Nigerian woman. And you all know that Nigerian women are very, very proper when it comes to, if they are intelligent, like if they go to school, their school is extreme. Even the ones that do not go to a formal school, they are very, very educated. Because you know that his education is not until you go into a class and sit down. You see their way of reasoning. Check out states that their deputy governors are women and their government allow them to have their input. The moment you have a woman as your vice chairman or a deputy governor and you listen to them, you will make informed decisions and you will hardly make mistakes. Because women are like the Holy Spirit. A man is the head of the home. The wife is the neck. Without the neck, you cannot turn that head. So you need, as a man, you need that woman for input. And this is why I will listen to this woman whenever she talks a million times, because her wisdom is very, very deep. Aside the things of God, in the business world, she's very, very intelligent. And she's very, very, she's intelligent and deliberate of her upbringing and how she brings up her children and how she reverences her husband. That's one of the things that endears me to this woman. The way she respects her husband, the way she talks about her husband. Because you can't say, oh, you don't live with them, you don't know how she treats her husband. But the fact that she projects the man in public to be firm, to be kind, to be, make the husband to be, that respect. I don't care who you are. The moment you are disrespectful to your husband, I cut off from you. I don't know anything, because if you can disrespect your husband, who am I? Like, that's how I wait. Because I feel that your husband is somebody who loves you, somebody who you have been together through thick and thin. And then your husband, there's somebody I know that when the husband talks to her, she's nasty. And one of these days, I wanted to talk to her about it. I looked at her, the way she talked to the husband on phone, she didn't know I understood exactly who she was talking to. The way I looked at her, she already adjusted, knowing that I already caught the drift. You don't disrespect your husband, no matter what. You do not. You see men, you say, hey, my husband is a foolish man, your husband is this, but you saw him and liked him and married him. Let me tell you something about being husband. I know this video is not about being husband, but the moment you marry a man, every authority has been placed on that man. So if you now go against that authority, you are missing the line and you have crossed the line. And at that time, God knows that you are on your own. You are operating on your own. God does not have a business in whatever you are doing. But if you I'm not saying that you should be in an abusive relationship, like where a man physically abuses you, even emotional abuse. I advise you to separate and stay somewhere. When the man realizes what he has done, you can go back to your marriage. But let me tell you something. Without two in a marriage, it cannot work. One person cannot always be the good spouse while the other person is being the bad spouse. How did I get into talking about marriage? This woman here is somebody that if you listen to how she speaks about her husband, I wish you could check her videos out. She is a preacher. Listen to how she speaks about her husband. You will be wowed. Like, she has so much money. This woman you're saying, she has money. She is an oil and gas person. That she's into the oil business. She is also a preacher of the word, and she is also a leader in some other places like that, and she is well schooled. Like, you won't say, oh, because she didn't go to school. This woman has certificates that if we begin to mention. So it's not about that. You should be able to put your act right. That's why I love Nigerian mothers. They are no nonsense people. You go and make money and come back, they will ask you. Only a very few would say, maybe because of the poverty rate, they will not even, they used to ask, they must ask you. A Nigerian mother will ask you, who is that guy talking to you? Who is that your friend? Even a female friend, they want to know who is the mother or the father. They want to check it. In Nigeria, it's a norm. When you bring a friend, your parents want to know who this friend is. They don't just say, okay, he's a friend, no problem. They want to know. Because by the time you tell them the name of the family, they will search it out to know if there are people who have, fraudulent antecedents, or people who are very, very not straightforward. That kind of thing. So right from when our parents were young, their parents did that same thing. Now, as we're growing, our parents did that same thing, even though they were not so much into it, but there's a way they ask you questions. You already know the reason they're asking those questions. So this wisdom this woman has is top-notch. Nigerian women, you can never get it wrong with Nigerian women. Their intelligence, the way you wear dreadlocks, they want to ask you, why are you wearing dreadlocks? Why? Why? Don't you know that it will make you look like a gangster? They want to know why you are painting your nails as a man. They want to know why you are wearing earring, you're piercing your ear as a man. They want to know why you are coloring your hair. Nigerian women, you pick a call, they want to know who you just spoke with. Even at my age, I'm married. If there's a comment, I will make my mom ask me, who was that? Because it shows that they are Nigerian women are accountable. Like, they want to hold their children. Because they know that, let me tell you something, Nigerian women are very, very conscious of the fact that when a child is bad, they'll say it's a mother. And when a child is good, they'll say it's a father. So they are very conscious of that. And that same phrase is in the Bible. So they are conscious of that. All the time you see Nigerian women spending time more with their children. Although now more parents are being aware that the men will not just work. They also spend time with their children. Just in 2020, a lot of parents who were always going out to hustle for the money to come back for their children spent more time with their children. They realized that they didn't know their children very well. That's 2020. I think was a time where God brought back families, brought them together to make them become what a family should be. Because all this hustling, you are making money to bring back to children, that's not what the children need. They need attention. So with that, a lot of parents had to change their business line. Some of them went into private business and stopped working in a place where they'll be traveling from one place to the other. So Nigerian women are the best mothers in the world. Nigerian women are the best, Nigerian mothers are the best mothers